So, there was a period of time after Ice Crown Citadel where Blizzard was trying to dedicate a lot of time to trying to get Cataclysm as ready as it could be. And players were getting anxious at the lack of content and the kind of the drought of content that they were getting. So Blizz decided, you know what? Let's get like another extra small raid in there for people to kind of have some kind of extra content to work on and do until we have Cataclysm ready to go. So they released this raid that we're about to look at now called the Ruby Sanctum. This was, again, like Obsidian Sanctum, a way to kind of like tease and hype up what we were going to be dealing with in Cataclysm. So, into the Ruby Sanctum we go. Now, note the guards out there. The guards are dead. This is supposed to be like a sacred area for the Red Dragon flight, to be able to kind of like, rest and relax and, and, yeah. There's a lot of black dragon kin in here. Yeah. By the way, one of the reasons why I want to do this on my Death Knight is because there's some interesting... for those of you who saw the video I did on the Class Order Hall mount that you can get for the Death Knights, you recall that there was a point in time where we actually came in here, and the Lich King was like, okay, so you can either do this entirely stealth, or you can just kill them all. The choice is yours. And there was a rather infamous feat of strength you could get in doing that in here that some didn't know about and some just outright refused to do. By the way, again, notice all the red dragons that are here that are actually just dead, that were murdered in here by all these black dragonkin.
Help! I am trapped within this tree. I require aid.
A Sanctum Guardian Aristraza, or Zarastraza.
Soon you will join your friends.
So yeah, again, like the Obsidian Sanctum, there are a few extra bosses in here. They're just not listed in the guide. The only one listed in the guide is Halion.
Ah, the entertainment has arrived. Twice the pain and half the fun.
Knocking back.
Twice the pain and half the fun. Didn't see that coming.
Thank you. I could not have held out for much longer. A terrible thing has happened here.
You don't say.
We believe the Sanctum was well fortified, but we were not prepared for the nature of this assault. The Black Dragonkin materialized from thin air and set upon us before we could react. We did not stand a chance. As my brethren perished around me, I managed to retreat here and bar the entrance. They slaughtered us with cold efficiency. But the true focus of their interest seemed to be the eggs kept here in the Sanctum. The commander of the forces on the ground here is a cruel brute named Zerithrian. But I fear there are greater powers at work. In their initial assault, I caught a glimpse of their true leader, a fearsome, full-grown Twilight Dragon. I know not the extent of their plans, heroes, but I know this. They cannot be allowed to succeed.
Yeah. You see what I mean about hyping up and teasing what we were going to be dealing with in Cataclysm? Because we know what those eggs are meant, why they came here for those eggs. And if you don't know, well, let's just say Deathwing had some horrible twisted ideas in mind for those eggs. And it's not just the red dragonflight eggs he wanted to do that with. No, 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 no. He wanted to do that with all the dragonflight eggs. Partly because he was curious what would happen. It's like, I wonder what happens if I do this on a blue dragonflight egg. Now, that was also partly due to his son, Nefarian, who we all know is so into things like science and alchemy and, quite the chemist and scientist in his own right. Whereas Deathwing isn't really all that much into it. He's just like, let's, get this done. Whereas Nefarian's much more of the intelligent scientist type than Deathwing is. So here's one of the other side bosses here, Saviana Ragefire.
You will suffer for this intrusion.
Let's go ahead and clear out the rest of these. Just to help avenge the red dragons that died here. Which is kind of hilarious, as I mentioned, if you come here on our Death Knight, considering what we do later on here in the Ruby Sanctum, in Legion. So now that we've cleared out the trash, we get access to this guy up here, who is the last that we can face. Here are some of the eggs. As I mentioned, they are here to capture the eggs and take them to basically try and turn them into more Twilight Dragons, or see if they can. It's all experimental, keep in mind.
Alex Straza has chosen capable allies. A pity that I must end you.
Huh.
Fear incoming.
Hallion, I'm...
Speaking of which...
Meddlesome insects. You're too late. The Ruby Sanctum is lost.
That's Halion, the Twilight Destroyer. A full-grown Twilight Dragon. There are not many of those, and that's kind of a big deal. So again, this may have been like, just like, here's some content while we continue to work on Cataclysm. But it does play into what we were going to be dealing with in Cataclysm. With the whole plot line involving Deathwing and the Twilight Dragons.
Your world teeters on the brink of annihilation. You will all bear witness to the coming of a new age of destruction.
Run out.
You will find only suffering within the realm of Twilight. Enter if you dare.
So now we have to go into the realm of Twilight to face him.
I am the light and the darkness. Cower mortals before the herald of Deathwing.
Stay away from lines.
The heritage burns. It will be your last. This world will burn with the Master's return.
And that, of course, would be one of the last big teasers that he would provide to let us know Deathwing is coming. He's on his way. So we've saved the Ruby Sanctum. We have killed the Black Dragons and the Twilight Dragon here, and now they can be able to move in and take it back. I'm curious if she says anything to acknowledge that we just killed Helion. I don't think she does. Nope. And she's basically the only one in here to kind of, like, acknowledge this, so. But that's the idea, is that we came in here, we took down Helion and all these Black Dragonkin, and now Alex Jaws and the rest of the Red Dragons can come in here and, well, obviously see to their dead, and basically try to kind of restore this place before we, had to, then, before Cataclysm came around, so, yeah. A lot of people kind of bashed this mainly because it was just like, this is Blizz just kind of trying to give us some, you know, a little bit of content while actually working on the next expansion, so. So that is it for all the raids in Wrath. Unless, of course, I redo the Nox Ramus vid, but at the same time, it's, I don't know. I was kind of okay with how I did that video. And the trailer for it isn't that amazing, other than that it's just great to hear Michael McConaughey do Kel'Thuzad's voice. And we basically did everything here except for Bear It and Hold, and another that was a raid that became a dungeon by the name of Zul'Garub. So we will probably be doing Bear It and Hold and Zul'Garub with an awesome trailer coming up. Stay tuned.